What is up, guys? It is your boy JayDubbs. We are here with Digital Dive In. We got Sandsology, and then we got Leroy Jenkins. And so today we're going to be talking about something that's been probably on a lot of people's minds lately. We've always seen the scope of gaming get more expensive, kind of rise in price, and we've seen a lot of protests each generation that's come along. So, we're going to be talking about pretty much, has gaming gotten too expensive? What will happen maybe in the future when it gets more expensive, but we're primarily just talking about the present and looking at different facets of gaming, different devices and stuff like that, and seeing if it's something that is still as valuable as it was back in the past with prices going up. So I'm going to pass this off to Sangeology first and get your take. Do you think games have gotten too expensive?
So I don't think it's gotten that bad. I mean, $70 is a hefty price tag to pay, but I mean, it is really only $10 more than what we've been paying. So me personally, I don't really mind the higher price tag for games as long as the quality reflects that. Now there have been a handful of games that have not reflected that. Case in point, Anthem. Case in point, Cyberpunk. Case in point, Battlefield 2042. In recent
There's been
memory,
a lot.
there's been a lot. There's a
There's been
lot.
a lot.
But the
Cyberpunk
thing is,
2077.
yeah, the thing is, like, a lot of that is due mainly to the publishers and the devs of these like big companies trying to do more to satisfy that $70 price tag, trying to do more to match the hype that they've built for that game. So, I mean, there's a lot of other games that have the $70 price tag that have been absolutely freaking phenomenal. Case in point, Horizon Zero Dawn. Case in point, God of War.
Well, you got to remember there's tax. You got to remember there's tax on that. So you're really
Oh
paying
yeah,
$73 to $75.
yeah, more or less.
And so that's more of a $15 bump, almost $20 bump if you
Eh.
include taxes.
Oh, it depends where you're buying from and what those taxes are, because depending on where you are, the taxes will be higher, lower, or non-existent. But I mean, for me, I think games at $70 isn't that big of a deal, especially when you look at the fact that these brand new game systems that we're buying, right? We're buying like basically a not high end computer, but a top tier like
No, you're
mechanical.
buying a high-end computer. So
Okay, fine.
I
High
would
end
say like
computer.
a mid
Okay,
computer.
fine. We're buying a mid range to high range computer, cheaper than the newest iPhone. Right? I mean, we're spending like
So
maybe $500, $600 on this when smartphones
right,
nowadays are way over $1,000,
they're like
and even
$1,300
laptops
now.
are running over $1,000, and then you're spending like even more for like a really good PC, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like specifically for console players, I think we're still getting a really good deal even with the higher price tag in gaming. And I think that if devs actually do a good job at making these games and care about what the player wants and focuses on that instead of just their bottom line, that $70 price tag could actually be extremely beneficial, especially with all the
that's
new graphical
wishful
things that we can
thinking,
get.
though.
Oh, it is wishful thinking. Thank you for sure. But we've
We're,
seen
we're
it.
still talking about but we're still talking about a business at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't like they don't make games for the love of it. Well, some people
Well,
do.
yeah,
They
some of
make
them do.
games because at the end of the day, like this is their business model. So like you can say like as long as the integrity and it's a great game, I don't mind the $70. Again, you just explained it. Like you got like a fucking 60-40 shot at game's going to be great as soon as you take it out the package.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we still get day one patches now. We got
I mean, I
constant
don't think that's
updates.
ever
There's
going
so
to
many
change.
things.
I mean, it
I
never used
mean,
to have to be a thing
remember
though.
back in remember
It,
when you got
it
a
used to,
PlayStation 3 and you just
Yeah.
played games like you had updates, but you didn't get a fucking day one
Yeah, no,
patch.
that's
patch.
fair.
Yeah.
That's
They
fair.
didn't release the game like unfinished or like we'll just finish it up as soon as you put it and install it.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So like I guess when we move over to like my thought about it, it's like I don't think it's expensive. I think everything makes sense for what we pay for and what we get. Like the amount of enjoyment you get out of most games, really, like if you think about it, is really boiling down to your personal experience. So, $70, call it 75 with tax to, go through well, we'll take Jules for example, to go through Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna play that game when it comes out, spend the $70 and then or $75 and if he has a great time, there might be replay value in there. So if you play a game twice, that's
Right.
$150, right? Because you played it twice.
Right.
You keep thinking about it in that kind of aspect of which, how can I get the enjoyment out of it?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I don't think games are too expensive. I think gaming as a hobby has become too expensive. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Definitely
So,
way
like,
more than it used to be for sure.
So like
yeah,
go more into that. Are you talking like I said like side products like headsets, controllers, like gaming? Like are you talking
I'm,
about gaming equipment? Or are you talking
but
about
as a whole, that's what I'm saying. That as a whole, the hobby has become expensive. There's new, like,
yeah
I guess we'll call them standards or like expectations you get. Like,
Yeah.
look at us. Like, I don't know. Like, Pat, do you have a gaming chair?
No, I have an office chair.
Well, I do. Yeah, okay, well, I have a gaming chair. The shit ran me like $180.
Yeah,
Why do I
fuck
need a
that.
gaming chair? Right? Like, I didn't
right
need it, but I wanted it. I wanted to fit my gamer aesthetic,
Yeah.
right?
right
So, and you're talking about your accessories. So yeah, your headsets. You can get a cheap headset for $20. But then when your friends say your mic quality sucks, you're going to get a good one. When you can't hear your friends through both
Yeah.
speakers, you're going to get a good one. So next thing
yeah
you're going to drop bucks on a Turtle Beach headset, right?
yeah
And now
yeah.
you and
I have
and
the PS5 Turtle Beach headset, and it probably I got it for a Christmas gift, so I don't know how much it was, but like I would guess it was probably like $300
you're
probably.
right, but it's still a pretty penny, right?
Yeah,
And
it
then
is.
let's say like you got homies or kids, now you got to buy another controller, and
Yeah,
right,
and
there's
that's
just so many
70-80 bucks now. Yeah,
right. And I'm only talking console. Think about if
Yeah.
you're a fucking PC gamer, dude. You
yeah,
got to
Yeah.
build your PC for the part, and if you get lucky, and, you know, you can find some bargain deals there. But if not, if you buy a wholesale,
I
like
would I
you're
would
looking at a good at least 15.
I would actually argue that PC gaming is the more efficient route by far. Just
no, it
because
is. No,
even though like some of these like components are dumb expensive when they first come out, a lot of people don't buy them when they first come out, and they because like the stuff that they have, unless it's really outdated, it still works. Even a lot of the biggest YouTubers are still running on like gear from like years ago. So
and
you can
I mean,
upgrade like a couple years down the line once that big like graphics card or processor is a lot cheaper. And
that's the thing
you'll
with,
still be able to
gaming.
run what you couldn't with consoles.
With like gaming consoles, it's hard to future proof gaming consoles
Oh
because
yeah,
they make the baseline just to last for the next 8 to 10 years.
yeah,
They
exactly.
make the baseline, but then when you talk about PC gaming, you could buy something. You could buy like I have a rig. I have a rig. It cost me like $1,600, but I'm not going to have to touch that thing for probably another 10, 15
Exactly.
years.
Yeah.
And
And when you do, it's only going
it'll
to be
last
like a
for a
couple of
while.
hundred to replace a
Replace
component or
certain
two.
parts. Yeah,
Whereas instead of
exactly.
dropping another $600, $700, $800 on a brand new console, plus new controller, plus new headset, because it's all going to have new shit for the new console. So
Right.
everything you have now is always going to be compatible with the computer
The
you have.
PC.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that's the argument that every single PC gamer makes, that PC gaming is just more efficient cost wise.
If you look at the long run.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's funny
It's
because
just
like
getting up there at the first place.
once I started PC gaming, I feel like prices and how the prices and the worth of the game all just became kind of relative. Where it's just like
Yeah.
I've bought $20 games on Steam and gotten $60-$70 value out of it,
Okay,
and I've
yeah.
replayed it to the death. I may want to buy it twice if it comes on console, stuff like that. But then there are $70-$80 games where it's like I bought it once and I was like,
Yeah, I'm good.
yeah, exactly. It's like all
No,
right,
I feel you. I feel you on that.
I'm good.
But that boils
So,
down. That boils back down to like
it does
just
come.
is if it's too expensive of a hobby. Like you said, you've bought games consistently in which you can touch and replay again. But then there's some games that like you run through once, and you're like, oh man, I'm not crazy about this. And you have
Right.
the accessibility of Steam behind you there, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing. There's always a sale. There's always something I want to grab or something
Yep.
free. Da da da. So you backpile and backlog your like catalog of games. So I
Right.
guess like that's the thing. Like it's at the end of the day, it becomes really costly, even
It
if
does.
you're doing the thrifty spending, right? You can get Little Caesars every day, right? $5 a pizza, that's easy, and you're spending what $35 a week. But at the end of the day, you can go to a grocery store, probably get the same amount of groceries and more food for $35 and be able to sustain yourself. It's all about how you interpret the value.
Yeah.
I just
exactly.
I would say
I'm just-
in general, yes, gaming has definitely gotten too expensive to an extent in general. But I mean, like for the individual, I think especially when I'm touching back on like the $70 price tag, not everyone's going to, like, a lot of people are going to buy all these games like day one. However, if you're smart and frugal with your spending, you look at the reviews of those games and you really buy the games that you either just really want or you know are going to be good after you watch your reviews and playthroughs and all that junk.
But there's some people who are just not going to be,
I think
that aren't going to listen to Reason.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like, I mean, look at how many people lost their minds and bought Anthem when it first came out, and that game ended up being.
Buddy, I'm not trying to throw shade, but like you with Cyberpunk, like, we were doing shows about that.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, don't defend it. Just let me make my point.
Yeah.
Like we were doing shows, and I kept saying like, "Are you sure this is going to be good? Are you sure it's going to be good?" And you're like, "No, it's going to be amazing." CD Projekt Red, da da da. And at the end of the day, the game's mid.
You're right,
like, I'm not saying it's
right.
bad, but that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, you can have all the problems in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Firm can be doing a game with Kojima, and they could be combining the story and rebranding Silent Hill, and you have so many hype expectations.
Yeah, you're right.
And the game could still be bad. You're still going to top the 70 for it, but the game could still be bad. There's always a possibility. There's always a chance.
That's true.
I think
that's why like, the hobby has become so expensive.
Yeah. No,
but,
that's
like
fair.
I think that. So
do
for
you
people
think,
like that, like, I'm
do
sorry,
you think if I would say I would kind of pose the question because I think gaming became such a hobby so quick is because it started back in like what the 60s 70s. Shit was like you'd pay like $5 for a game. It wasn't that bad of an investment. You'd pay like $50-$100 for a console, which was a lot of money back then, but like it wasn't as bad. So it's like I would like to pose the question, like if gaming maybe started at where we're at now, do you think it would have caught on this quickly?
Oh God,
because
yes.
of the expenses.
It
But
still
because
would.
of the expenses.
It still
Like,
would.
if, like,
purely-
if-
I would say yes,
No.
purely because of the advancements that they're making in gaming.
Well, no, like
I think
listen,
at that point everything's big, like Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures anthology stuff. I think we don't get games, we get interactive movies.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think that's the route in
Yeah.
which we would have gone instead of actual games if we started.
like
later.
if gaming started back in
yeah.
like the PS3 ever, but instead of it being PS3, it was like PS1 with the same like graphics and everything like that. Like do you think it would have caught on with everything being $300-$400 for something that we barely know anything about, and then buying $60 games? Like, do you think it would have caught on as much as if it started back when games were like $5 a piece? Like games.
You know what? I'm switching my entire stance. Yeah, Pat's right because there's kids now that only know this life.
Exactly.
And gaming's double it. Yeah, like
that's true.
Like they
That is true.
they have no history
They're
of like
born
the
with this.
1999 PS1 game, right?
Right.
All they know is, oh, little Billy down the block has a PlayStation. Mommy, I want a PlayStation. And now
I think the
you're
community
gonna get
would.
your PlayStation.
I think the community wouldn't be as big, but probably. Community wouldn't be.
I
as
disagree
big.
again because I think the community has gotten
Really?
so much larger since
Oh my God, it
we
has.
were kids. That's what I'm
okay.
saying. Like,
See, that's the
when
argument,
you
right?
Look at
Okay,
it, when you
when
look at
we-
it, you're cutting out like the 70s. You're cutting out people from
Because
like, the 60s
dude,
all the
gaming
way
back
to,
then was a
like,
novelty.
the 2000s.
Gaming back then was a novelty, way more than what it is now. Think about when we were in
Right.
high school, right? And KJ, a little bit older, because he's older than us. But when we
How
were
old
in,
is KJ?
and actually,
How old are you? No,
even when
How old is
KJ
he?
like
was,
2 fucking years older than you.
I thought you were like 4 years older,
yeah, what are you, like
Like,
28?
how old are you?
28.
I'm fucking 30. I'm 2 years
Okay,
older
I
than
thought you were
Relax.
32.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I thought you were 32. I thought you were a little bit older. Either way. Remember when we were in high school, gaming was not all that popular at all. The gamers were really the weirdos of the group until like we got a little bit older in college when gaming became more and more popular. Games became a little bit more expensive, but a lot more better in quality. Around the time that Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out is when online gaming really started to hit hard. But before then, gaming was, for nerds. And back in the 70s, for your argument, back in the 70s, gaming was arcade gaming and Nintendo gaming. It was a novelty.
If it would have merged in 2010, I still think it would have took that stance. That's what I'm saying. I think it would have been a way smaller community, even still, if it would have came. Yeah, it would have.
Maybe.
But you would have had the same culture shock, where it's just like girls think it's weird and jocks think it's weird, and
so I think if it started back then, if it started back in 2010, whatever, we definitely wouldn't be at the place where we are now. But it would get there in the next 10 years.
You think it would have been expedited?
Yeah,
You think it would have been sped up?
No,
Oh,
I
what's
think
up?
it would have
What's
been
up,
slowed
KJ?
down. It would have been the exact same, time frame that we were here. We might not have Twitch now, but we have Twitch in like 5-10 years.
Interesting.
It's just
I disagree. I think gaming's always been important. I think it's just the way some people talk about games is what might put you in the social stigma.
that's fair.
And you
All
got
the
the
jocks and
politicians too. Politicians talking
all the
about
jocks at
game
my
violence
old
and
high
shit.
school played games. They were just playing Halo and COD. It's
That's fair.
normalcy. They don't want to. They don't rock with people who are playing Final Fantasy and RPGs or
That's fair. That's fair.
But if you're playing Madden, like your jocks will play Madden and 2K
Yeah.
and COD and Halo, like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's the normalcy of certain kinds of games. But if you're going around talking about how you play fucking, Nino no Kuni, like you're gonna sound like a fucking idiot,
Yeah,
and no one's
that's
gonna
fair.
talk to
No,
you.
no.
That's fair.
That's it. All because you were the weird kid in high school doesn't mean that gaming wasn't prevalent. It's always been prevalent. It's been prevalent since we were kids. It was prevalent before we were kids, when the only way people got to play video games was to literally go somewhere else
Go to the
and
arcade.
give them money
Yeah.
consistently. Exactly.
Mhm.
So I don't think the time frame matters. Hobbies are hobbies. Doesn't matter what it is. As soon as you introduce something, it become popular enough and blow up. Remember when vaping was a hobby people did?
Now it's a lifestyle.
It's just a hobby.
Yeah.
Exactly. Remember when hookahs were really popular?
I still
Hookahs
like
are still
hookah.
popular.
I still love hookahs.
Fidget spinners.
Oh
Now
my
the bubble
God.
poppers. There's always something. It's
Yeah.
just something lasts through the time, right?
Yeah.
And gaming's gonna last. There's so many
Gaming-
stories you can tell. And
I
there's
think
so many
gaming's
different
gonna last,
directions you
but-
can take.
I think gaming's gonna last, but it's also going to get more corrupt. Like that's also the thing that I do appreciate old school gaming because people made it because they like to make things. Like it wasn't
Bro.
like, yo, let's do this and become fucking millionaires. It didn't start blowing. It didn't start blowing up and making people rich until like stuff like Doom and Half-Life and like stuff like that started coming out. But before that, it was just like this. Like Nintendo had it. Nintendo had it on lock. Like it was Nintendo, Sega, Atari, and they were making They were
Yeah.
making good money, but it wasn't like, bonku dollars. And things seem more genuine and I would say more pure in a sense, and so
Well, I think a lot of it has to do also just with like, inflation and how our economy's been going. Because like if you look at, the Nintendo when it first came out was $90, And if you make
Right.
something of like that, like you take like the PS5 compared to the Nintendo, and look at that quality and what's inside of it, like you're paying for that. Like that's fair.
Right.
That's a fair price.
no, it is. And a lot of people argue that PS5 should have been PS5 and Xbox Series X should have been more expensive.
Oh
for
yeah,
what
they
you were
fucking
getting.
should have. I made that point already. We're paying more
Yeah.
for this than we do smartphones nowadays. Like what the hell?
Yeah,
It's
that's actually
freaking
really
weird.
weird.
It's still weird
That's-
to me.
That's kind of sad.
It's not weird. It's about keeping things accessible.
Yeah,
At the end of
no,
the day,
yeah.
everyone has to stop
Yeah.
because there's payment plans.
Yeah.
If if gaming was,
Remember when they were trying to sell the PS3
Yeah.
for $600?
yeah, like that's right. If it was class separated, there'd be pushback, and that's all it is. You can inflate a little as we go, but like Joel was saying, when the PS3 was $600, it didn't sell because nobody was about to give you $600 for a gaming console.
Yeah.
Things have become more expensive. Now it's becoming kind of the norm.
Yeah.
At this point, this is the thing. These are the things people are willing to do to play games. Right. A couple weeks ago, we were talking. Right, I was talking about how I got a PS5. I didn't need this PS5. I wanted it. Right. Gaming as a hobby. I had a perfectly functional PS4.
As you
Had
know-
Plus. I had all the fucking thing.
I needed
It's
a PS5.
all about the one.
My PS4 was falling apart. I haven't seen PS4 for 10 years. That's
There's-
what I'm saying. They
that's
don't
not
make
right.
they don't make things future proof for consoles. So like in order to
Because you
keep
can't.
my gaming going, I had to get a new one. It was just like, and that's kind of what.
What the fuck did you do to your PS4?
It's not. I didn't do anything. I had the PS4 fat. Like it's
Oh,
just
that's
age.
fair.
Um,
That's fair. That is fair.
I got the PS4. My shit's been. I've had mine for like 10 years too. It's fine.
See, yeah, like I had my PS4 for a while. Like when it first came, like a year after it came out, I got it. I got the PS4 Fat, and then like 2 years before the PS5 came out, I sold it and got the PS4 Slim because the PS4 Fat was just getting slow and bogged down. Probably could have just cleaned it, but I was like, I could literally sell it and get like $100 off of a Slim. So fuck it, I just did that. But yeah, they don't make consoles future proof because it's kind of hard to make them future proof. You can't replace any of the
They don't
components.
make anything future proof.
Well, yeah, well,
If they
yeah,
make it future
technically.
proof, you guys won't buy another one.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I
Nothing's
mean,
future proof.
even
That's
back
fair.
when
That's
they
actually
made
fair.
No. Even back when they made our furniture to last a long time, eventually you still have to buy new
It
furniture.
wasn't it wasn't future
It
proof.
wasn't
It was
future
just
proof, but it was
better
like, yo,
quality, better build
this
quality.
couch is gonna last me like 30
My
years.
my
This is
mom
gonna be
has
great.
this. My mom has this mini fridge, and you all both remember this fucking mini fridge I had in my room, a little brown thing she had in college. Now my brother's using it in grad school, and it still works perfectly freaking fine. The thing's like 50 years old. So I
Yeah, it's
mean,
nice. It's
certain things are just built different, and they definitely built them
No,
to last.
also can just consider how somebody take cares of something. It's
That
like a
too.
car. If you take care of a car, it'll last forever.
True.
But if you just kind of
Yeah.
let something hang around and
Yeah.
don't take care of it, it will deteriorate.
However,
well,
it's still
sometimes you
in
can
terms of
take.
like future proofing, it still wouldn't be as efficient as the newer stuff, and that's what future proofing means. It means that it would not only last, but it would still improve in the future. But instead, it just stays the same throughout. So no matter what, if you want something that functions better, that performs better, you're gonna buy something new. If you're fine with how it works and how it performs, then just chill.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people make things that are two steps forward, one step back. So you can argue that you can argue that sometimes the old stuff can perform
You can only do so much
better.
with in terms of tech. You can only do so much with drivers. You can only
Right.
like
No,
they
right,
can
right,
only
right.
do so much. Like you can update all your drivers, but if it's still old tech, it's still not going to perform as well as the new shit. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. I also, I feel like gaming is kind of sold out to the dollar, and that kind of
here
is what kind of helps.
Everything is sold out to the
it is. It
dollar.
is no shit.
Yeah, no,
That's
yeah,
kind of the
yeah.
point.
I mean, I see people that's like, no, it hasn't. I'm like, yeah, it kind of
Speaking
has.
about being sold out to the dollar, and this kind of goes into KJ's whole argument about accessories and everything. Do streamers and gamer or like YouTubers do you think they influence the expense of gaming because you see them with these really high end accessories? You see them with the RGB, you see them with the gaming chairs, like KJ said. You see them with the headphones, the mics, everything, the whole freaking setup. Do you think that people seeing that makes the gaming in general more expensive because they want to go out and buy all those things?
I mean, I can tackle this first. I would say no, just because the fact that gaming is sold out to the dollar, they were going to be this expensive anyway, and it's more or less just like, hey, promote our stuff so they can come buy our stuff at full price, but we'll give the pro gamers a discount. Like they'll give the
Yeah,
pro
but
gamers a discount so they can buy the stuff and get the gamers to show off everything. So then normal people will come and buy the stuff at full price.
well,
I think
that's kind of my argument, though. That's exactly my argument because, like, before you started seeing all these streamers and YouTubers and everything getting all this crazy gear and shit, were you actually interested in buying that stuff?
it
Because
depends
I
if you were
wasn't.
into it.
I'm still
It
not.
depends if you were interested into it previously. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're a PC gamer, you're into that stuff, then you're going to be into it regardless. So you're going to know about it regardless of whether a
I mean,
pro
yeah.
gamer
I
has
mean,
it or
yeah.
not.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, I when I was in high school and I hung out with my gaming friends and they were gaming a lot, they didn't have all this shit. They had a regular ass office chair and just hanging out. Even
Well, a
my
lot of
rich
them,
friends.
well, a lot of them console
Because you were in
gamers.
high school.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
but even in
too.
college, it's people who were into gaming a lot. They didn't have all that shit.
They don't have a lot of money. You're in college. You don't start getting
I
money
mean,
until you
even
get a big boy job.
you do realize I'm white and have a lot of rich friends, right? Even those people didn't have all this stuff. They just had whatever they, a regular office chair, a regular fucking chair, whatever. They just had a PC or Xbox or PlayStation. They didn't have all these crazy accessories. They might have had a good pair of headphones, but that was about it.
Well, what's up, KJ?
But then again, that goes down to the point. That goes back to the point. Like all because you can't afford it at one point doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There were gaming chairs before fucking the big boom and fucking Twitch and YouTube and
Right.
shit happens. Gaming chairs have existed. LEDs have existed. There have been people with other kind of gaming setups before this. Have they become more prevalent? Yes, but also what is more prevalent? Actual streamers and YouTubers. It's not people doing it for their own aesthetic. They're doing it because they're trying to match the kind of energy they see on the internet because they want to be the people on the internet. I don't think that has anything to do with it being a hobby. I think it has everything with it doing to be a career aspiration.
Fair.
So I don't think they influence that much. Now, yeah, the G Fuel, the fucking promoter codes or
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
the promo codes, excuse me, like whatever. But like at the end of the day, I don't think all because fucking Ninja has a bunch of things behind him that makes you want to drop $700 on the setup.
Yeah,
right?
no,
I
do
mean,
you know, like,
I would argue
want
it
it to do it
does.
already.
Well, maybe.
like I'm a
But
huge
do,
like
do
I'm
you
a
only
huge
want to do it because you see these people doing it?
well no, it's like for example, I'm a huge comic nerd. Anytime I watch a comic video and somebody has like 50 million action figures, a live action super like a live Superman, statue in back of them, like any kind of like weapons or anything, like it's cool, but like I'm not going to spend like $3,000 on a fucking Superman statue and like the hammer of Thor and fucking Batman's batarang. Like I'm not going to do
Exactly.
that just because I see it. Like
That's fair.
it's
Exactly.
just something that's cool to look at.
Yeah. If you're impulsive, you're impulsive. You don't get to blame the streamer.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah. If you're
gaming
impulsive, you're just impulsive.
it's going to get more expensive whether we like it or not. But I think what will depend on the survival of gaming is how they can make it relevant and how they can make it something that people want. Because like sometimes technology plateaus. So it's just like you look at the iPhones, and for me, I feel like every new iPhone just gets a new camera lens. And it's just like, what else can you offer
Basically.
me for $1,400 besides a new camera? And I think gaming is going to be the same way at some point where, you look at something that's like, all right, it's pretty.
Well, that was exactly my argument with like the PlayStation 5 to the
Is it going to
Xbox
be
Series.
relevant?
I was exactly my argument with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 because both of them basically have the exact same specs. They have the exact same tech because that's just what's available right now. And they both had shortages. It's just the PS5 was more prevalent in that.
But for some reason,
like technology, like both consoles, like they might perform a little bit differently, but not as much like the PS4 or the Xbox One.
I mean, but it's funny because you look at the performance for the consoles and the generations, and it's like Xbox usually always ends up performing better than PlayStation 5 because they optimize something better. And yes, the technology that they use used to be a lot different than what it is now. It's more closely similar. But I still feel like because Microsoft comes from PC beginnings and PCs,
it's all about optimization.
And so Xbox values that more than PlayStation does. I'm sorry to say, like I've had PlayStation for a long time, but like they don't optimize as much as Sony as Microsoft does.
Okay, Jay, any thoughts?
Nothing's expensive if you love it.
That's fair.
Nothing's expensive if you love it. There are car guys, shit like that.
Yeah.
Every hobby is expensive at the end of the day, no matter what. If it's something that you really want to like and you really want to spend money on, it's going to be expensive. It's even if it's just a little bit.
Whether it's books, cars, fucking guns, makeup for everyone.
Women.
Whatever your hobby is.
I don't think we can talk about women being a hobby. I'm pretty sure that'll get us
would you
canceled.
shut up? That's why I just coughed. Thanks for putting it out there, Patrick. Not like I was trying to be.
Why do you keep trying to cancel us?
Because
why
we
are
need to
you
be on the edge.
to say cancel us?
We need to be on the edge. Long Beach Griffey. We need to be on the edge.
No, you don't. We're a gaming talk show. Why the fuck?
Now here's
We're making it relative. We're making it relatable.
Outro.
I wasn't even going to my outro. I was going to extend it a little bit because we only have a half an hour maybe of shit.
Go.
Okay. Well, I was waiting for you to react.
Hey, I was making it relative. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fair. Now, since you talked about tech plateauing and only being able to get so far, there's been the conversation around, and this kind of follows in with the whole: is gaming expensive or is gaming as a hobby expensive? But there's a conversation around when developers specifically should just completely embrace next gen and when they should just forget about last gen and stop making games for that stuff. So, like me personally, I think from what we're looking at, even with the whole shortages and everything, we're still looking at, in 2 years, they're going to, let go of the PS4 and the Xbox One and put all their focus onto next gen. And people are saying, no, that's not great. You shouldn't do that. But I'm like, that's pretty standard. It'll be 5 years since the PS5 came out.
I mean, it's standard, but you got to evolve with the times, man. You got to be situational. You can't say, hey, there's been a shortage for the last 5 years. Imagine if only 100 people got a PS5 up until this point, or up until 2025, because of how bad the shortages were? Would you say, hey, all right, only 100 people have a PS5 out of the millions that want it. Let's just cut everything off of PS4, move to the next one. You wouldn't do
Except that's
that.
not the situation.
But it's
The PS5 still has like 20 million sales.
yeah, but it's a mirror of the situation where it's just like there's still a lot. Do you realize if there was no such thing as COVID or shortages, they probably would be in the hundreds of millions right now? So many people want a PS5, bro. So many people, and
Maybe.
if they're not going to get with the way that games are becoming $70, games are becoming more expensive to make. If you don't have the fan base to support the investment that is being made to make the game, you're going to be in the negatives, and that's why you see so many games like Days Gone got so many sales, still looked at it as a disappointment because they're looking for a certain amount of investment back for making these expensive games. So if you're not going to get that investment back, there's no reason to cancel the previous population if they're not going to get the sales from the new population that they want. We may look at 20 million and say, oh, that's a lot. They may be looking at it and saying that's not enough. So it's not really smart if you want your investment back full fold. If you're looking into the future, it's not time right now. You got so many people that have storages and don't.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna do? You're just gonna like push, next gen back and back and back and delay further innovation.
But you have to ride the wave because you'll disappoint so many more people by switching before most people that want the console can't get it, and now they're just having a backlog of games that they have to buy at $70 all at one time. They're not going to be able to do that. Then you're just going to backlog everybody's game catalog, and with games being $70, they can't just say, "All right, it's Christmas. I'm gonna buy like three $70 games." People can't do that anymore.
I wonder if
People
that's
are
why
struggling for
PlayStation
jobs
did
and,
this
like,
whole PS Plus thing because they're
everything has a
anticipating that.
ripple. Everything has a ripple effect. You can't just cut people off if that's not the return that you want. You're going to
KJ's
lessen
making
your sales.
eyes. Yes, KJ, you have a question?
Solid. Cool. PlayStation exists because Game Pass exists. I don't know why you would talk about that. Secondly, how do I go about this? So we're still in a pandemic, right? So like it's kind of hard to nail down a timeline for when they should stop supporting. But PS3 got support up until like what, 2018, 19?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wait, did they really?
Exactly. So that's a good amount of time. I think you gotta really take into consideration how many users are still moving. Like PlayStation gets those metrics, right? Like how many PS4s are still active compared to PS5s,
Oh, well, yeah.
You can't take away your entire client base because you had a shortage, right? So eventually, yeah, that trade-off's going to come. There are going to be games that are PS5 exclusive, but I think if they were early enough in development and if they have enough time and resources, I think we're still going to get a lot of split titles between PS4 and PS5. There's going to be a lot of strictly PS5 titles, I know, but I really do believe that they're going to continue support because they're real big into the players. I think they know they'd be screwing their players over if they just kind of got rid of it in 3 years just because, they want to strictly focus on the PlayStation 5. Unless these supply chain issues change, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of Xbox, I think Xbox's goal is just to continue streaming, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're so hung up on releasing console after console. I think they're worried about getting people onto Game Pass so they can just get the consistent revenue in. I think eventually that'll be what happens. Like, I think that the support for the One's going to last a long time, too. I just think there's so many things that aren't going to be, series exclusive. It's just going to be Xbox exclusive because Game Pass exists. I don't know. Support's always been such an interesting kind of topic of conversation, right?
Yeah.
Because at what point is the future, and you kind of just got to leave the past behind. But it's tough when you're dealing with people like gaming. Like my little cousins, like different little cousins, like they still have like a 360, right?
Oh god.
And it's not for any reason other than the fact that like PS4s are a little costly still, and the kid's not going to go online all the time. He plays video games every once in a blue moon, right? It's just something to play. So with that, like they stopped supporting 360 a while ago, but they still fucking let you use it, right? Everything's still usable.
It's never going to be like they're never going to be just dead in the water. But I think what we're going to see is that like you said, like
it's just
games.
weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I I think what we're going to see is that like games themselves are going to go full next gen, but like they're still going to be supporting these old consoles. They're still going to be providing updates and keeping servers alive and shit like that for years. But we're just not going to see games being made for those consoles anymore. And if they do, they're going to be downloadable only. I don't think they're going to be making full like physical games for them.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that would be the best move, honestly.
I mean, eventually they're going to shut down the stores for them too. So then,
well, yeah, but even the PS3 store is still open
because we asked them to be open. They were very shut down. It would have been shut down by now if there wasn't mass protests about it.
I don't agree. I think they're still going to support them because
they were
people
setting fucking riots for it.
Yeah,
bro, because they just said they were going to shut down the PSP and the PS3 and
the
PS
PSP makes sense because the PSP is legitimately dead in the water.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, but people backlash about the PS Vita and the PS3. They're like, yo, I still have my PS3. I still use it, like, you know. And so when you talk about longevity of consoles, eventually these consoles are going to get their servers cut off.
You can continue to use it.
Even when the store's dead, you can still continue to use it. I mean, what are you going to do with the store when there's no new games for that system anyways?
I mean, I guess you can
still go to the store. You can still go to a
DLC.
Yeah, there's no DLC for those games anymore anyways. You can still go to a store and buy that game for like $10 and take it home. They still sell those games and like, you know, Just Press Play. GameStop still sells 360 games. Like,
yeah, eventually they're going to close.
You just got to find them.
Yeah, you'll be able to find them no matter what all the time because they're everywhere, you know? Either people still have them for sale, you can borrow them from friends, they still have them. They're going to be there. Used game stores are freaking everywhere. So shutting down the store isn't that big of an issue. Now, if you shut down like the online servers and stuff, especially for like, you know, PS3, Xbox 360, it makes sense because those teams have to, you know, focus on the new stuff and they can't keep, you know, putting all their focus on these old servers and keeping them up and running because this is taking time away from what they could be doing with new stuff.
Right. So eventually somebody's going to have to upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no matter what, you're going to have to upgrade at some point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have like these companies that aren't big on like game preservation when some of these games only got digital releases and not physical releases, and then they're not like remastering them or putting them on the, you know, next store because, you know, it wasn't like it wasn't as important as the other games.
Well, a lot of those indie games usually only release digitally because doing it physically is expensive as hell. And doing digitally is they just have to pay to have it on the marketplace and that's it.
Yeah.
It's so much more cost effective for them. So indie games, you're never going to see a AAA dev not put out a physical game. Like, it's not going to happen.
We don't know that.
I mean, unless like the future just goes full digital, which that's another conversation for another time.
Like Multiverses, I don't think Multiverses is getting a physical copy.
It's a free to play game, dude. It's a free to play game.
Yeah, but for people that like Multiverses, is it gonna transfer over, or are they going to leave it dead in the water?
It's going to be account based. It's an online only game, so yeah, of course it's going to transfer over.
So just food for thought.
It's cross-play, already announced.
Yeah, so you're good no matter what platform you're on. You make your account.
Literally, you can just log in.
Yeah, you make your account, you log in anywhere, you're good to go. But
yeah, that was just an example.
I think like as the years go on, gaming might get more expensive, but I don't see it getting to the point where people just stop buying stuff for gaming.
I can see it going that way.
Because Kay just said it himself. Like people's hobbies are always going to be expensive. Cars, those parts are only getting more expensive. You know, books, ebooks, whatever. Like those are a little bit more cost effective, but you're still buying a ton of those.
Sales aren't going to be as rampant. And
I would beg to differ. I think no matter what, I think it's only going to get more. Because of how prevalent gaming is. Like, even as it gets more expensive and as people are making more money and, you know, things happen like that.
But that's the key. People aren't always making more money. And that goes into politics, and we're not going to get into that. But people aren't always making more money. So you're going to see sales decline as things get more expensive and inflation goes up and people aren't getting the wages that they think that they should be owed, or that they're like, so many businesses undercut their employees and don't give them the pay that they really should deserve or really should get.
That's fair, but I also think it's like that's going to be like the minority. In general, gaming
How
is
can
still
you
going to
say
get
that?
Jules, let me ask you a question. Jules, let me ask you a question. No matter what happened in life, right? If you have a full-time job, right?
Right.
Your bills are paid and all your extra money for savings, right? Instead of going towards savings for like 3 months, you decide to buy a Steam Deck. Would you buy the Steam Deck?
Depends on what I need that savings for. If I need that savings for something that's important, I'm gonna have
It's
to.
just a general savings.
Yeah.
It's not very. No, all your bills are paid. All your bills are paid. Everything's good. It's just savings, just a normal savings. Would you sacrifice 3 months of your savings to get a Steam Deck?
Mm, I
Don't
can't
lie.
say that I would. Only because I can't say that I
You're
would.
lying.
If I was, if
You're
You
I was,
lying.
literally
if,
did
no, no,
though.
no,
You
no, no.
literally did though
If I
because you
was, if
shelled
I
out the
was
money for a Steam
saving,
You're
Deck.
fucking lying.
but see, if I was saving up for it, I would pay the $700 because I've been saving up for it. If I had an impulse buy to
That's
buy
what I
a
was saying.
Steam Deck
That's what it
while I
is.
was saving
No, no, no,
three
no.
months
That's
of
not what I said.
savings,
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Yeah, that's 3 months of savings that you're using towards to get your Steam Deck. Would you do it?
oh yeah,
Exactly.
but
Exactly. That's my point. People do whatever they want to do for the
but
hobbies they want to do.
Yeah.
That's my
not-
fucking point.
but it's not the immediate sales that some of these places are looking for immediate sales, and then they're mad when they don't get them, and then the sales come later, and it's just because look, people don't always have the money right then and there to.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're just
talking.
talking about if people are, no matter what in their lives, if gaming is going to continue being this lucrative and this big, I would argue yes, because if you like it, you're going to spend money on it.
It depends on the creativity and the
No
ambition
matter-
of the gaming landscape. If it becomes
No,
if it-
because
if it
people are
keeps-
still,
if
dude.
it
People
keeps-
still buy FIFA games. The FIFA community is fucking huge. They still buy every single new game
You're
that
going to
ever
stop
comes out.
attacking sports gamers.
I'm just saying. It's the same thing with Call of Duty. People buy the newest Call of Duty game every single time it comes out.
But we've seen sales declining ever.
Not really,
since.
dude. Vanguard had one of the biggest sales, and that
Bro.
game is trash.
Bro. We've seen reports. We've seen YouTubers do reports on this. The games aren't selling as well as Modern Warfare. They're not, and they haven't been selling as well for a while. So it's not like
But
all
they're
of a
still
sudden,
successful. It doesn't matter as long as they,
But that's
overdo
what I
their
was saying
budget.
before.
They're
You might
fine.
not be. You might not be.
Success for the who? You're having
To the
One at a time.
company.
Sometimes you have 3 and 4 developers working on this one game using millions and millions of dollars of resources, and if it doesn't get that much in return, plus, then it's still a loss to them. You might see it as a success, but
Yeah,
they
I'm not talking
don't.
about those games. What's up?
You're acting like when sales are down, it means they sold like 8 copies of one game. Sales might be down, but they're still moving fucking units. It's not drastic enough to make the fucking industry crash. They're still moving fucking units. You're taking this like fucking like, oh, sales are down, video games are over. No. Same way movies
I
are
didn't
fucking
say
whack. But if a
that.
Marvel movie comes up, the box office is real again. But that's what you're implying. You're not saying it, but that's what you're implying. Oh,
No,
sales
I'm
are down,
saying
everything's
that-
gonna crash.
I'm saying
It's
that
not
just
gonna
because-
crash.
Yeah, I'm
Nothing is
saying that.
perfect forever.
I'm saying that just because we think something is a sale doesn't mean it's a sale for them. So, like you were saying, you were talking about Call of Duty and talking about how like, oh yeah, they're still moving units. Yeah, to us it looks like they're moving units, but to them,
No, they're
they may
still
be
moving
thinking on a
units.
they may be still thinking on a grander scale. And we've seen that in game. We've seen that with games before, where it's just like games do really well, and they're just like, nah, we don't see it as valuable. And you're like, why isn't this getting a sequel? This
Yeah,
is
but
better?
you act like they're just doing this off the will of like, oh, hopefully it does well. There are fucking teams doing this. So if something costs $100 million and the expectation is that you're going to make $200 million off of it, and instead you only make $175 million, did you take a loss? Yes. But did you take a financial loss? No. You're still making money. You might not make
and some of them,
but you're still making money. You
Yeah,
say something is down.
yeah, but some of them takes $100 million to make, and they get $100 million back. To us, it's like, oh man, they made $100 million, cool. But to them, they broke even.
No, it means they broke even. Yeah, I know.
You know, so
But there's not been an instance in which you heard someone break even, not gaming. You don't break even for those kind of titles. You break even for like the weird indie shit.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to break even.
Anthem,
You're not going to break even for the tentpole releases.
even games like Anthem and Battlefield 2042, they still made crazy profits, even though those games have been shit. Now, it might not be what they wanted, and that's exactly why EA has been like, okay, this didn't perform how we wanted to. We're not going to support this game anymore. But that's EA. EA is a shit company. Now, CD Projekt Red, they launched Cyberpunk. It sold. It still made profits, and then the game got ripped, and then they came back and continued to support that game. So,
yeah, Marvel's Avengers is a perfect example. It did well enough, but they still took a major loss on it.
They may have taken a major loss, but it still did well.
Yeah.
But not enough. They took a negative loss on it.
It moved units.
Yeah.
To us, but not to them.
No,
that's
to them. We're talking about to them, not to us.
It still did terribly in terms of sales. They lost like millions of dollars.
Do you work for Square fucking Enix all the time? When did that happen?
They've done articles about it.
What the fuck is your argument? I know, but why is your argument the fucking industry and the developers and shit? We were talking about as consumers, is gaming expensive? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about those companies. They're fucking billion trillionaires. I don't give a fuck. I'm not worried about their L's or not. I understand you want integrity and you want fucking quality, bro. That's just not the world we live in anymore. You get mid everything, and then once in a while you get something that's great. It's just it is what it is.
I mean, you can accept that if you want to, but you don't have to. Like,
it's not that we're accepting it; it's just the world we live in. That's what's
you
happening.
literally have to. Are you gonna make a fucking game?
We can protest it. We can protest games. People have been doing it this whole time.
People protest
You
EA all the time.
You reach out. You let them know that something's not right. Or
bro, these devs don't give a shit about your feelings.
How many times have people reached out about games and it's changed the landscape of the game and made it better? There's been stories about it all the time. What are you talking about? There's stories about it all the time. There's stories about developers being in constant contact.
Name one.
Name one? They're doing it with Sonic right now.
Name one.
Sonic
Frontiers, Sonic Origins. They're doing it with Sonic right now. Not Sonic Origins, Sonic Frontiers.
Wow.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
They're literally they're listening to the community.
Because the game's still in development, you dummy.
Yeah.
The game is literally still in development, so of course they're listening to the community to make changes to the game that's still in development.
But you said they don't care about your. But you said they don't care about your feelings.
The only example that I would actually accept right now would be No Man's Sky. That's the only example of a dev releasing a game and listening to the community.
You're still wrong.
After it. That's the only example. Because look at friggin' Anthem.
You're still wrong.
Look at Anthem. That game came out. Everyone complained about the game. They pulled the plug on it. Look at Battlefield 2042. That game's getting ripped. They just launched a season 1.
Oh wow!
You talking about lowest player counts ever.
You're talking about big AAA games.
Yeah, no shit. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about indie games here.
We're talking about the whole gaming as a landscape,
bro. With the majority of that is AAA devs.
I don't know. What do you mean? We're talking about the whole shit. We're talking about the whole gaming industry here.
Buddy. No dev is going to listen to someone be like, oh, your game is shit. And they're going to be like, oh, wow, I should change this. No, if they're still making bank on it, they're going to just take that. That's why EA did what they did with. Bro. That's why EA did what they did with Anthem and Battlefield.
Not necessarily, bro.
You don't see a lot of gamers protesting about the quality of games. You see gamers protesting.
What are you talking about? It's in the community. You see community.
You don't see protests. You see online bullshit, but you don't see protests.
Maybe I used the wrong word. I didn't mean to say protest. Nobody's gonna protest a fucking video game.
Exactly.
Sorry. That was my fault. That was my fault. But I'm talking about at least community outrage, speaking out to the developers, talking about the game, that stuff helps.
What's up, KJ?
You do that.
You said protest 7 times in the last 6 minutes, and now is the time you just want to explain that. Oh, I used the wrong word, nigga. We've literally been fighting you because you used the fucking phrase protest. You are on some bullshit today. You were on some bullshit today. That's fucking wild, bro.
Protests are what you see about people protesting the gaming, these devs being misogynistic and shit. People are protesting that for sure. They don't protest the quality of a game. They'll yell about it online. They yell about it online. The devs don't give a fuck
They
about that.
no, you see plenty of times that people listen. They have community managers. They go into the community, talk about this stuff, talk about what's wrong with the game. The community managers let the developers know. Developers get to working on the changes. It's a whole thing. You see it multiple
They might
times.
do
And,
updates to games, but you won't see like drastic ass changes. You'll see changes in the meta. You'll see changes in like some gameplay aspects here and there, but you won't see a complete redesign of a game because gamers are like this is shit. They'd rather just pull the plug on that game and start fresh.
I guess you see it more on Steam. My bad.
Well, again, you're talking about indie devs. That's totally different.
That's a community.
That's not even indie devs.
That's literally a community, though. You. Okay. Oh. You're literally talking about a community in the page on Steam. Okay. I'm proud of myself for not yelling. I've grown as a person.
We really appreciate your evolution, KJ.
Thanks. Take away the other 4 times in this video when I started screaming. Just take that.
The evolution has grown.
I understand what he's saying. Like, I get it. I get what he's saying. Like, there's definitely no integrity, and everything is costly, and everything's about the nickels and dimes. Yeah. But at the end of the day, again, it's still the hobby we love, right? Like, we're talking shit about MW2 before we record. And there's a strong chance, I'll probably get it too and play the beta, or I might grab it and just play with you. And at the end of the day, it's still MW. I might make new friends and shit, right? Like, that's kind of what those games are for. And that's what gaming's about. It's about making friendships and about having fun or being toxic and bullied.
No. You had it right. You had it right the first time.
No, I mean, at the end of the day,
it's more my paranoia. It's more my paranoia. I see, like, I'm very pessimistic about the future of what's coming, just because of the fact that we see it in other, different industries, and we're seeing it in this one where the prices are going up. Sometimes you're still getting half games, unfinished games, this, that, and the third. So then people might, look at it and say, well, it's not worth, putting in anymore if it's getting more expensive, and I'm just getting the same or even worse quality, or getting games that go, 2 steps back.
But again,
forward.
you have to look at like the new generation too, because they're seeing this, and this is the first thing that they're that they're seeing, that they're experiencing. So they're gonna be like, oh, this is what I get to expect. So yeah, it's a really shitty way to think about it, but this new generation of gamers are seeing this, and they're expecting this to be the new norm, and it probably will be. Us older veteran gamers, we're looking at this and like, this is bullshit. We're going to be the ones to wait on a new game, to read all the reviews and shit. All the younger generations are going to jump on this shit, so they're still going to make fucking.
I mean,
back.
I think it's unfair, and this point has been made.
Oh, it is unfair.
Times.
It totally is.
No. It's just like, I think it's unfair to, and this point has been made so many times where it's just like, well, it doesn't matter if I was born in the 1950s or if I was born in 2022. If I get a car that's missing 3 tires and they say pay full price for this, I'm gonna say no, because it don't matter when I was born. I know that a car should have 4 fucking tires.
See, I don't think we're getting that bad of games. Like, 1 or 2 in a year maybe, but for the most part, games has been selling and launching pretty well off. You get a couple of games that are like really, really bad, and there's the ones that stick in your head. But for the most part, it's not that bad.
I mean, but like he said, like, we're getting day 1 patches pretty much with most games nowadays.
Well, yeah, but I think that's mostly to do with the technical aspect of things, and you can account for everything when you're developing a game. Like, back in the day, you didn't have to worry about all this shit. Nowadays, you do.
Yeah, you did.
Not really. Not for the PS3 and shit. You really didn't have to worry about, like, if your
No, I played Infamous, and I would walk through the ground and glitch out. What do you mean you didn't have to worry about this?
No, I'm talking about, like, especially with, like, multiplayer and stuff. Like, you didn't really have to worry about that with those games because it was a lot simpler back then. Nowadays, it's a lot more complex. There's a lot more things you have to worry about and think about. And you can't account for everything when you're developing a game. So when it launches, there might be something like, oh shit, we didn't know this would happen when we launched the game. We're going to have to fix this today.
Like, we didn't know that when you put a reticle on a person, it doesn't shoot there. That's...
I mean, I haven't seen that, but okay.
Battlefield 2042.
Well, okay, like I said, that's one of the
and
exceptions.
that was complained in Halo as well.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't play Halo.
So,
All right, final thoughts before we wrap up. Who's mowing their lawn?
Gaming's expensive. Gaming's expensive, but you're gonna do it anyway. Just fuck bitches, get money. I don't know.
Jules or Jay?
the end of the world's coming. I hope I can enjoy some more games before that happens. And yeah, I hope they don't get more expensive. If they do, I might have to, do something about the economy, become president, something, whatever.
Yeah, becoming president doesn't make much money. Anyways, guys,
Make changes.
what do you think about gaming is completely, if you think it's becoming more expensive, if you think if it's just, following the evolution of money? What do you think about gaming as a hobby? Let me know. Let us know in the comment section below. The Summer Games Fest is, actually I shouldn't say that because this video is going to be going up fucking whenever, so.
Hey, let me know, guys, if you like me being a devil's advocate to get KJ mad. Because y'all know that's when the show gets good.
Should we just make a compilation of KJ rages?
You're not even being the devil's advocate. You're just being a fucking idiot.
Here we go. Yeah, there it is.
I'm literally
There it is.
I'm gonna take a whole
No,
day.
no,
I'm gonna take a
no.
whole day and just and cut all of KJ's rages and make that the trailer for our entire channel.
Here it is. Here it is. What's up? KJ looks like he wants to say something. KJ.
He's restraining himself.
KJ, what do
I
you want to
hate
say
it
to
here.
me?
I fucking hate it here. I fucking hate it here.
KJ, what are you saying? What you
KJ,
saying?
come back, do the show. KJ, we need you. Oh, now you're just gonna fucking antagonize me, and then when I get mad about it, it's just like, oh,
Because
yeah,
it's the
KJ
best
content.
content
That's
ever,
cool.
bro. That's why people love you. They come here for the KJ.
What do you niggas try being mad for fucking once?
Usually
Well,
it's him.
Because I'm.
Okay, then we're gonna rebrand this.
Do I have to be the mad one? I like being the
Cool.
sarcastic
If that's
one.
it, all right, cool.
No,
right,
fuck you.
cool.
No, you're the mad
Nope,
one. No,
nope,
no.
microphone's in my hand. Microphone's in my hand. Microphone's in my hand.
No,
Nope, shut up. Microphone's in my hand. Microphone's
I-
in my hand. Shut up.
You
Shut up.
gotta be the
Shut
mad
up.
one.
Shut
Mad
up.
one.
Shut up.
Mad one.
Shut up.
Mad one.
Shut up.
Mad one.
Shut
You
up.
gotta rage.
Guys,
You
shut the
gotta rage.
fuck up.
You know what? No, what?
Shut up.
Patrick, you be the mad one.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up and let's end this video. God fucking damn it. Shit.
I don't want to end this video. I love talking to you people.
Fucking hate you, bro.
First off, Jules, can I talk now?
Yeah.
Jules, can I talk now?
Yeah.
Thanks. First off, Patrick, you are not intimidating. You scream and I'm like, haha, Patrick's mad. Like, I don't care. Second off, if the angle of this show now is just me being mad, we're gonna rebrand it. This is gonna be the KJ show with the crack whores, but the crack is gonna be with the K, like KJ.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you both to name yourself Crack Whore 1, Crack Whore 2 next week. And when I post
No,
this
man.
video,
I'm
this
saving.
is our theme now. We gotta change the thumbnail. The thumbnail is gonna be me in the center and you two in drag. It's gonna be great.
No,
It's
man.
gonna be great.
My name's gonna be Darth Opium.
There's a whole
I don't know what
rebranding
yours
now.
is.
No, we gotta rebrand everything.
No,
Nope,
man.
nope. Shut up, bitch. You want me the mad one? You want me the mad one? I'll be the fucking mad one. This is me being
Yeah,
goddamn
be the
mad.
one.
You
Yeah.
get this? This is what you wanted? You got it.
Yeah. What's up?
You fucking got it.
What's up?
Anyways, guys, let us know what you think
Dumb
about gaming
bitch.
as a hobby and if
I
it's
love
too
you.
expensive. We would love to hear your thoughts. And
I love you,
please
Leroy.
try not to make KJ so mad.
I love you, Jenkins. I love you, KJ.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, please leave in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our podcast, which has the uncut versions of all of our videos.
Hey,
Check it
come
out.
hang out with me. I'm smart.
Go check it out on Anchor, on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, on everything else that's on. I don't know why they're laughing at this point.
Four Loco, sponsor me. I love you.
Please don't. No.
Oh,
No.
Christ on a cracker.
This is an old bit, and we're done. with
Okay.
it.
Thank
so much
you guys.
for watching,
Stay
guys.
excellent. We'll catch you next time.
Yep. Bye, guys. That was it. Whatever. Bye.
What the